Hello there, friends, and welcome to Strangers in the Night, your source for late night VR gaming talk. I, of course, am your host, Wes. With me, as always, are my good friends. How's it going, Eric?
What's up, fellas?
What's up, brother? And my good friend, Roots. Roots, happy birthday, brother.
Yeah, thank you. I feel old. No, actually, I don't feel old. I was thinking that today. I feel really healthy and young, and which is odd at 48 years old. So
What? 48?
yeah.
I thought you were 58.
No, yeah, 68 with this beard. I'll tell you. I had somebody tell me the other day that if I shaved my beard, I'd look younger. And I just looked at him and I said, it's not happening. I don't even care. I embrace my age. My boss at one point, he said, this is a few years ago. He's like, you could dye your beard. I said, yeah, I could. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't know. I embrace it.
Well, here's the thing. The older you get, the more you realize that young people are fucking stupid. I don't want people to think I'm one of them.
That's right. Yeah, distinguished. That's what they say. You're a distinguished gentleman, right? You're distinguishing yourself from the idiots.
I don't want to be young, but I don't want to be old either. I want to be in the middle. I just want to stay let me stay like 40.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Because
unless
I don't want to be 50.
Unless you're a younger viewer of this show, in which case
You're the best.
you're obviously wise beyond your years.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you're watching the show. You must be wise, right? So.
Right. You know, most people our age are in bed right now. You know that, right?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Aylin Kara, right at the beginning of the show, says some of us actually sleep at night. I felt like there was a little bit of saltiness there, Aylin, and I kind of get it because I was looking at my schedule. Guess what I have tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. The McDonald's.
Nice.
But you know, it's inconsequential. I think sleep is we'll sleep when we die, right?
Yeah.
Tons of sleep.
You know who they're all in bed with right now?
My mom. Oh man, she's got a bed full.
It's busy.
Well, sleep is important. No, that's why I just woke up. Make sure you get a good nap in before showtime. That's what you all should do.
I'll tell you what. That's what I did. I was telling you that's what I did on Monday. I got home from work early. I was going to watch the crew cast, and then I laid down for a couple seconds to rest my eyes, and I woke up, and it was like 8 o'clock. And I was like, holy shit, man. Like, that's what happens when you burn your candle at both ends for several nights in a row and then decide to lay down mid-afternoon for a quick little rest and didn't wake up.
Yeah, that's one of the things about getting older is if you don't get your sleep, you're going to get your sleep. You have no choice in the matter. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm waiting for MASH to one day. He's just going to go to sleep for like 2 weeks straight. That's what it's going to be like. What happens? I had to catch up, man, like for the last 6 months. It's crazy.
No way. Can't do it. Yeah. I feel like I'm missing stuff, man. If I sleep more than like 4 or 5 hours, I feel like I'm missing something. And in this time, virtual reality and what we're going through, I don't want to miss anything, man. I got to be up early in the morning just so I can watch the Pico thing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to pre-order? I mean, Brad's already leaked the whole thing. You can read the transcript right now on sadlyinreality.com.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I don't know, it's a big deal, right? I mean, it's a new big standalone headset's a big deal.
It's a big deal, but I was looking through it and I was like, man, I have most of this already right there on my other headset. Why do I need another standalone headset for it? Right? I mean, I know that
it's going to be comfortable. You know, I could tell you why, because both of the games that we covered this week were Quest games, and it made me realize just how much I fucking hate wearing that thing, man. It hurts my head. And you know, it probably would have helped if I had installed my games on the Quest that had the M1 strap on it, which I like much better. But I always use the one that has the M2 strap on it, and the M2 strap hurts my fucking head. And it doesn't matter how much I adjust it and how I wear it, it hurts me.
A little bit. Well, here, Jim Hall will send you a YouTube video on how to fit it onto your head properly.
Right.
M1's way better. I'm definitely down with that.
I don't know. I like the M2, but either way, I mean, I don't care how comfortable it is. I guess I do care about comfort. You know, it's going to be, that's one of the things I was just saying to somebody recently about how that's when I think VR is really going to be the big thing and take off is when they're not so hot and they're more comfortable, more like Cambria That's the one thing I do like about that is the weight, the size, the shape. It's gonna make it. They need to make it feel like, because I'm starting to feel like sometimes I'm in the headset and I'm like, man, I don't want to be in this fucking hot thing. I need something lighter, something less heat. So.
I don't know. I think we're a little spoiled. I really do. I wore it for 12 hours on last Friday. It didn't bother me at all. Really didn't.
Which head strap were you using?
I was using the M1.
There you go. That's what I needed to do. I use wife likes the M2, and we have a headset that we use, and we have a headset we let the kids use. And wife likes to use the M2, so we keep M2 on ours, and then Isabel gets the M1, and I like it better. So whenever I have games that I'm covering at Quest, I probably should have the presence of mind to pick that headset up, but it's so few and far between the instances where we're just covering Quest games that I never think about it. I just grab the one that I use. And then, when I'm 6 hours into a game and my head starts hurting, I'll think, oh, yeah, I guess I should have picked the other one.
Mash just needs to send you another M1 and solve your problem. There you go.
I probably got one laying around.
You probably
got one somewhere. I could probably send you. I think, you know what? I think I do, actually. I'll send you one.
There you go.
Well, I won't tell you not to. I've got a regular M1 laying around here. I just don't have the Pro. Like I've got like the regular versions of the Bubbo straps sitting around. I've got a Kiwi strap that's really comfortable sitting around here somewhere. But that battery, man, that battery is everything. Yep. Like you can't cover Quest games without having that battery back up. It'll take you a week just to get through one game.
I've been doing a lot of, just a case point of the PlayStation VR 2 cable not being that big a deal. I've been doing what Mash says he does. I just leave it hooked up to my cable all the time. And whether I'm using it for PSVR or I'm using it for, standalone, it's getting its power from my PC all the time. And I don't have to worry about it.
I tell you what, man, I'm glad I didn't have that cable this week. That NFL game had me moving around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, man, I hear what you're saying, Eric. It seems like if we go to sleep, we miss some things as fast as things are moving this week. I mean, I took a nap coming into today's show. I still haven't played the Paradox of Hope update. I haven't played the, what is it, Death Horizon Reloaded update. I haven't played that yet. And yesterday, Luke Ross dropped 2 new mods. Yeah. Stray, which I'm sure is awesome, but Ghost Runner, which I'm going to take full credit for, because when we covered Ghostwire a couple weeks ago, I called it Ghost Runner like 5 times.
You did too, yeah.
and people were correcting me on it in the comments. Little did they know, I was just talking about this one.
You were just putting it out there for the universe, right?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to getting into that one. That's probably the very next thing on my list. Eric, have you seen any of the footage of this thing, man? It looks nuts.
I have. It does look fantastic, and I'm going to one-up you. I had a feeling a long time ago that this game was going to be in VR because it just looks like a VR game, and they had teased it a while ago. And I bought it on a sale, so we have access to it already. It's in our library, so it's ready to go. I actually played like 10. I played like 15 minutes of it flat, and I'm like, I'm just waiting. I'm gonna wait. I stopped because this game is so cool, and it's perfect for VR. I was like, they were teasing. It was probably 6 months ago I bought this game because they were teasing it way back then that this game would be perfect for VR, and somebody's gonna do it soon. And here we go.
Yeah, it looks like what Stride should be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the movement in this game is going to be so good, man. It's going to be so smooth in VR just because of the way it is, the way you can run, you can parkour like crazy in this game, and the katanas are going to be amazing. I can't wait to do it in VR.
Yeah, it reminds me of what I thought Sirento was going to be when I first saw the footage of that when I was new to VR. This looks like what I thought that was. Not to down Sirento or anything. It was a good game for its time, but man, Hellsweeper looks awesome, right?
Yeah. There's so many games that we could be playing right now. I mean, Hellsweeper looks amazing. I mean, Everslot's coming. It's crazy right now the amount of cool games that we're going to be able to do, plus all these mods.
Yeah, all these mods. We talked about it on Sunday. Like with the Prey Dog universal injector coming. There's not going to be many games left soon that aren't playable in VR.
That's crazy.
The more the better. Yeah, the more the better. I mean, I want to play everything in VR. Why not? I mean, we were talking about, I'll do everything. I mean, think about the games you go in. I want to do some older games. Think about older games that you could probably get in there fairly easy. That classic older games. I'm really looking forward to it.
I want my BioShock, yo.
Yeah,
That's coming.
Gears of War.
Oh, yeah, that would be actually. I think Gears of War would be something that would be perfect for first-person VR. Actually, the way it's cover-based like that,
Yeah.
I think that would be a great. They could do a great VR version of Gears of War if they wanted to. Although that is a Microsoft IP, it'll probably be a decade before we ever see something like that.
Microsoft's coming with a headset. You didn't know that?
Oh yeah, everybody is.
That wouldn't shock me. I kind of expect it, to be honest.
Yeah.
At some point, I definitely do.
We've talked about it a bunch of times, Ruth, so how much sense it makes for them to build Oculus Link support into the Xbox. That would be a win-win for Facebook and for Xbox. I mean, that would be a way for them to compete with Sony right out of the gate without having to completely transform both of those platforms.
Yeah, especially in a time when they're, we were just saying they don't really have a way to compete with Sony, right? As far as the AAA games and stuff. But if they were to partner with Xbox, they could easily compete with them, or at least in a different fashion. I think it'd be really cool to see that happen. I'd love it.
Work in some Link support, Eric, and then have Xbox release some exclusives that you have to have the console for. I mean, come on, bro.
This makes entirely too much sense for either one of these dumb fucking companies to do it.
I get it. Yeah, you're right.
It seriously does. I mean, think about if you're Xbox, how do you catch up with Sony with an install base, a VR headset install base that quickly? You just team up with Oculus. You're not going to make your own shit, right? You're not going to make your own hardware, not now anyway. Team up with Meta. You've worked together before in the past. You've already done some stuff. How hard would it be?
Not as hard as certainly the benefit would outweigh the work for, I would imagine, by a mile.
Oh yeah.
Get back into After the Fall anymore this week?
I haven't, but I want to badly. I'm like, I tried to get Dee in the other night, and she just didn't want to put a VR headset on. She went and played flat with Roots and Jim Hall.
What we do? What was it? Fortnite? We played?
Yeah, I don't know. I saw you guys, three of you in the waiting room area. So I assume you must have been playing Fortnite.
Actually, no, I don't know. It depends. There was one night for whatever reason, I was playing World of Warcraft. I went into on air, and I was just sitting there talking to Dee, playing. She's watching me, and then Radio Runt and Jim Hall came thinking I was doing something, like streaming. And I was like, I don't even know why I'm in here. I guess I just jumped in here out of habit. So, but
I'm ready for it though. I'm ready to get right back into After the Fall. I want to do some of these what do they call them again? The mutator runs, man. Yes. I want to get there's so many cool mutators that you can put in these weapons now. I want them bad.
Yeah, we're falling behind, bro. You know, Skiva's got half of that shit unlocked already.
Hell yeah, I know. And I just want to go on another epic run. I hope it'll work, but I hope we don't get stuck like we did the other night. But
God,
by now they have to have some of the bugs worked out, right?
Yeah, that was a weird one, right? Like everything was going swimmingly until wave 43, and then wave 44 just wouldn't come.
You just keep hearing the music. That's like the worst sound in the world when you just hear the music still, and you know some zombie is stuck in a wall somewhere. You just can't find him, and you're completely screwed.
Yeah, they need to give you discs as the time goes by. You know, at the end of every 5 rounds, if you earn a disc, you get it right then. You don't have to wait till the end. That would solve it.
That would make sense. It certainly would either that, or they could do what Returnal did and let us save our runs and return to them, mid-run. Like come back on level 43, all your bombs where you left them, all your juices where you left them, and pick it back up. I mean, that would have been
like they give you the option, if it's glitched, to save at that round. You come back, start that round over.
Yeah, or just in general. It doesn't have to be glitch. It would be a good solution to the glitch, but it would also be a good solution to having not having 4 hours to put into a horde run.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just can't imagine putting 3 hours into it and having something happen and losing it all. That would really sour me to the next run for a little bit.
Yeah.
We tried to go back in and start at level 40, right? Was it 40 we tried?
Yeah, that was just a bad idea, man. You can't just start in the thick of it, because you have to put in the time to bank those items so that you're ready for the later rounds. It's a death knell. Yeah, it's a death knell not getting those wrist rockets. You gotta have those.
Yeah.
I mean, people are still interested in playing, man. I had somebody, I think it was Alex Kubikawa or Chris 9999. One of those guys, he messaged me and said, I just got my dad into the game and we need a walkthrough. I got it myself and I got my dad the game and we need help, figuring out how to team up. And, people are still wanting to play this game and get in. And, I love hearing that. I love hearing, hey, I just got my dad the game and we want to go in and play. Can you jump in with us and show us how? And I'm like, hell yeah, you just tell me when and I'll be there. I love hearing.
And here we are. I mean, we're almost a year now from the launch. And the lobbies are still full of people. Every time I go in there, there's 46 pages in my lobby. And that there's just multiple lobbies on top of lobbies that have the same story, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it goes to show you, I mean, I've never put this much time into a VR game before. And I've never put up with so much bullshit in a VR game before because I still love it. I mean, it's so bad sometimes, but I'll put up with it because it's so good. You know what I mean? So the good way outweighs the bad for me. So there is so many VR games that what happened to us the other night, getting to level 43 and then glitching out and getting nothing out of it after all that time, I would have just never picked that game back up again. But here, I'm ready to jump back in I'm ready to jump back in right now. Like if we said, look, let's cancel the show and just go stream this for 3 hours, I would be all down.
What would you do if you went into the game? And I'm being serious. It did it again at like 49, and you lost it again. I mean, if it was
completely,
because that's kind of it's a big problem. We can't gloss over this. TAM2, you need. I mean, I know it's you just had the patch, but that's a big problem. For me, Mash, that would do it for me, man. I'm on the edge already, and that would be it. I'm glad I wasn't there because I'd be pissed.
I mean, I hear you. I agree. I mean, I don't want to gloss over it. I've killed this game as much as I've talked it up.
That's true.
But I can't get over the fact that I still want to play. You know what I mean? And if I still want to play, even after these things have happened, how much shit have I gone through with my Steam copy? I can't even play my Steam copy anymore. You know what I mean? I'm starting over on a goddamn whole new account, my Oculus account. I've got 200 plus hours on my Steam account with so much stuff unlocked, but I'll start over because I want to, and I have faith, especially hearing and talking to TAM2, during that interview, that they will do what they need to do to make this game right. And they're going to keep adding to it, man. This is their big game right now. This is their big game that they can carry through for a long time, and they know it. So if they treat it right, this could be really big for them. And I think they will.
Yeah, they got a dedicated team on this for years to come. Not the only thing that they're working on, mind you. They're working on a lot of different things at Vertigo, but there is an After the Fall team, and that's these people's entire life is to make this game better. And, for what it's worth, there's always jank right after a big update, and this is the biggest update they had to date. So considering that, I mean, we actually had surprisingly fewer jank than we typically do with an update, which is a good sign, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it took 10 hours or 10 plus hours to hit any jank at all. Like I don't remember having any jank during the day much. Did you?
No. The harvest runs went off perfectly, and even the mutator run that I ran well. Now I did have some jank in my favor. A couple of times we had unlimited ammo show up in some of the guns, which was pretty awesome. But I mean, as far as like negative jank, it took a while before before we even saw any of that. And that typically it's not the case. I mean, typically it's hard to play the game for a week or two after they put one of these updates in. So you can tell they've been working on this one for a while and they've vetted it out pretty well.
Yeah, I'm real happy with the update. I think the new Harvest Run map is probably the best map, Harvest map, and I need more time with the Horde map, but I think it's different. They didn't give you just another, 3 area map. They gave you a completely different play style than any other Horde map, right? I mean, this is not a just cover angles. This is you have to move.
Yeah, I like the layout of it. It seems like it's going to be really confined at first. But then you get up on that track on the second level and you realize it's not confined at all. These guys are coming from everywhere. And you can't sit still. You got to move.
Yeah, and we tried all different stuff too. We tried like the split, divide up, and and then we figured try and stay together. We figured try and stay on one floor. You just can't. You're constantly having to run with this one, and you can't. I don't even know how there's probably a way to do it, but I don't even know how you could stay together. Really?
Yeah, that'd be tough. I mean, I think you might be able to if you. Well, I mean, to an extent, I think you could probably do 2 on one side and 2 on the other, and as long as your guns are strong enough to where 2 people can suppress a wave, we could probably split the map up and be responsible for different areas and not have to move as much. But that's just a theory. I don't know.
I know. Yeah, we need some more time in there.
And I agree with you on the new Harvest Run. It's beautiful, man. You've got that crumbling skyscraper, and you're ziplining between the two, like moving up thousands of feet into the air, looking over, the base, the blood at the base of the building where you were earlier. I mean, it's really cool artistically what they did with that one.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. I love the new bosses. You got some new different types of juggernauts. I think 2 different types of juggernauts now, and then the new weapon, 2 new weapons. The shotgun is amazing, and I haven't even unlocked. I got the chance to use it in Gamescom, but the saw blades for your wrist rockets.
Oh yeah, I haven't got that open yet either. I had a dream about that the other day, actually, about having it.
You're loving a game when you're dreaming about it, right? Kenty Poo says he can't even get past the first Harvest Run. Either the boss kills him, or a bug happens, and he can't get through.
Oh, Kenty Poo, you just got to have experienced runners with you. Are you trying to run with noobs? Or are you trying to run with Jimmy? You can't try it with Jimmy, man.
No.
It doesn't work out.
Jimmy will literally run right up to you, and when you're frozen, and then jab himself with the thing, and then run away.
He flips you off.
Yes,
and runs away.
You need a squad. You need a good squad to go hang with. Come hang with us. We'll play with you, man.
Absolutely. We're always looking for a reason. Anyway, we've got some cool new stuff to talk about this week, talking about the first real attempt at an NFL game. And we're talking about a game actually that's been out for a while, but had some pretty big news drop this week with Star Wars Tales of the Galaxy's Edge. But before we get to that, we need to say hello to our friends who are joining us tonight in chat. Hawk107 is here. Said, did they announce the Saints and Sinners release date? Because there's some streamer promoting that they're going to play it in early October. I think it was Benjo. Benjo said that he didn't say that it's coming in October. He said he feels like it's going to come in October. He's just speculating that it could come in October. And I hear what he's saying. I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? That's a spooky game full of zombies. I know, I can tell you for a fact that they're in the latest stages of development. That game is in the polish stages at this point. So yeah, I think it's a real possibility that we could see that game next month.
You're gonna wait until for the PlayStation VR 2 version?
Ooh,
not a chance.
Tiffany's in the chat. Let's just ask her. She'll just tell us right now.
Yep.
It's coming out in October, right, Tiffany?
Yeah. What day?
Don't say anything if it's coming out in October.
Don't
keep
answer.
Completely quiet.
Guido's here. What's up, Guido? Corporate Zombie is here, as is Traveling Man. Travelman says, Jimmy saves my ass. You know what Jimmy does to me? He steps in front of me and takes all my bullets in his back. That's what he likes to do.
Yeah.
Wolveraza is here, as is Island Kara. Good to see you. Kinty Poo, we just said hello to as well. Mickey Barrios says, I'm still playing with AI. Man, you guys just need to tag some people on the Discord. I'm sure people are at the ready all the time to play that.
Yeah, for real.
Let's see here. Technological glitch. What's up, friend? Radio Runt's here. Radio Runt's all excited here to talk about this NFL game.
Yeah. He said it's game of the month.
Those are big words, man. A lot of stuff has come out this month. We've got a debate on our hands. And the month's not even over yet, either, by the way.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Seems something cool was just announced for like this week. What was it? I don't even remember. Like I thought nothing cool was coming out this week, and then I was enlightened that there actually is something cool coming out this week. I just forgot what it was, so my bad. I'll tell you when I remember.
Didn't Into the Radius come out this month?
Yeah.
Yes, Into the Radius came out this month. That's right.
Sorry.
So, yeah, not looking good for the football game.
Sorry, bro.
Let's see here. Hello, Tiffany. Good to see you as always. Lee VR says, I thought that was going to happen when the CV1 came with an Xbox controller. Yeah, they teased us all, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
What else is here? Anyone else here? Shagsy's here. What's up, Shagsy? Black Market Honey. Good morning from sunny Sweden. 2 degrees Celsius. I have no idea if that's hot or cold or...
Radio Run says Into the Radius is lame.
Please.
Bro, come on. That's one of the best games of all time on Quest.
Come on,
man. Distract. Did we get any first impressions of REA on PSVR 2? Yes, we did during the PSVR Media Day this past week. Everyone's saying it's the best way to play that game, that it's better than the flat version, even graphically looks better than the flat version. We had people who have played the Prey Dog mod who said that that the native PSVR 2 version is better than that. So I'd say it's very, very promising.
Yeah, I won't go back and play it. I won't go back and play it any other way right now. I'll be waiting for the PlayStation version.
That's me too. I've decided no more. I'm glad I played it. I'm glad because now I have I have a better idea than most people, like what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I'm looking forward to. Having played the few hours of it that I did play, so I'm glad I did that. But I'm glad I stopped. So I can take the majority of the game in the way it was meant to be played.
What do you think the odds are that they give us Resident Evil VR people, or Resident Evil 8 people, the VR mod for free, or the VR version, since we bought the flat version?
I think it's very likely. I would expect it to be free.
Yeah.
You think so? Do you really? I was thinking the opposite way. I'm like, there's no way in hell they're giving that game away for free.
No, I think so. I'm if I'm not mistaken, they may have even already.
So if you own the
said
flat
that.
version of the PlayStation 5 VR game, you're gonna get it. It's gonna work with your.
Well, it'll probably
VR.
be like a VR, maybe a VR download. Like if you already own it, I like Wes's answer better than yours, Smash.
Oh, I do too. I don't disagree. I don't want to have to buy it again because we know I'm gonna have to buy it because Sony is not gonna give us any games to play. Very little, maybe a couple. But I mean, I'm gonna have to go buy it. I don't want to go buy it, but man, I just can't see them giving it up. That's probably one of their biggest launch titles, or if
they didn't charge people last time when they did 7 in VR. It was a free add-on.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's true.
But you know, for what it's worth, I haven't bought the game on PS5 yet. I waited specifically so that I could know for sure before I bought it. And I'll buy it when the VR version releases, so they know why I bought it. I'm always big on doing that. Like if I know a VR version's coming, I'll wait until VR support gets added to buy it, just so that these corporations and game studios know why they got my money, you know?
Right.
Yeah, this makes sense.
Where am I? Ray Delator says, fuck Madden. Really, bro? Really? I don't know. Let's see here. I think. Well, there's Mepper. What's up, Mepper? Chatty's here. Hello, Snacks.
Snacks is making
MPLS.
me hungry. His name.
The Let's Go to Tokyo Game Cat says howdy. What's up? I think. Oh no, there's Fabster. What's up, Fabster? There's Diz. What's up, Diz? Salvador's here. What's up? And Mike Newton says, we don't need no stinking sleep. That's right. You know what's up. We don't need no sleep because I already got some. I actually dreamed about After the Fall before doing this show, to tell you the truth.
Wow.
I was dreaming about it. I was dreaming about doing this episode, but playing After the Fall instead of doing this episode. That was literally my dream, is that we just streamed some After the Fall.
We could do the episode while playing After the Fall.
We could do that. We could talk about NFL while we play After the Fall.
Well, that's kind of the whole premise, premise of the On Location, right?
Yeah, we did a full blown interview with Tamtu while we were playing live on stream.
Yeah, although I did get confused once and totally forget what I was saying halfway through a sentence because I was distracted by the game. I felt like a tool. Anyway, let's talk some VR games. Let's get to the reason while we're here. The reason for the season is pleasing. Let's talk about Star Wars: Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. This is a game in the headlines all week long, as we learned this past week that this Oculus Quest exclusive is coming to PSVR 2 in an enhanced form. And this is a game that I played when the first part of it launched. I gave it a couple hours. And enjoyed it fairly well. Played it enough to tell that it definitively is better than Vader Immortal, without question, which I enjoyed, by the way. I like Vader Immortal. But this is a much more free experience compared to Vader Immortal. Vader Immortal is it's just a step above being on rails. Where this is still a very linear Star Wars adventure, there's a bit more freedom to it. There's a whole lot more progression. It's certainly a whole lot more of a game. But since I've played it, this game has received DLC. And, Eric, I really wouldn't consider this to be DLC. It just seems more to me like the other half of the game.
It does. And I think it's actually bigger than the first game. So I don't know. This is what I think everybody said it was not. It was a little bit short. The first game was a little bit short. If they had given this all to us for a little bit more money, would everybody have been happier? Like if this would have been the whole complete game, and it was like, I don't know, $10 more from the beginning, I think everybody would have been really, really happy. I mean, the game got really good ratings as it is, but the only complaint was maybe it's a little bit short. But man, there's a lot of meat here to this DLC. This is probably one of the biggest DLCs I've seen. Like compared to like some of the other like games that did this, like Jurassic World, this is a way bigger DLC than that one.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't feel like a DLC to me. It feels like the other half of the game, and I think you're right. I think together, this makes for one hell of a Star Wars adventure game. Now, of course, it's not Jedi Outcast or whatever, some AAA 30-hour campaign. But I feel like, Roots, that the people who are saying that this is kind of a short thing, we're kind of underselling it a little bit. Vader Immortal was short. Vader Immortal was too short. This is orders of magnitude more than Vader Immortal. And I don't just mean in length. I mean in depth as well. We kind of question whether or not Vader Immortal was a game. There's no question here. Tales from the Galaxy's Edge is a Star Wars adventure game.
Yeah. Yeah, Vader Immortal was more of an experience. It was like 45 minutes per episode, or I don't know, just it felt super short. The thing is, even the first part on this one is 3-4 hours long. I think it was just the cost of it. I think you're right, Mash, because it it was $10 for the DLC, and it was significantly longer. And so you're talking what, 30? I think it was, the original was $24.95, so it'd be $34.95, or was it $29.95? I mean, either way, the total price for both of them would have seemed really, really fair, and it would have. I think the PSVR 2 people are going to get the best package in every aspect, because they're getting it all in one thing, and this one is so much more in every way. I mean, not only gameplay but production. Like, I thought Star Wars the Vader Immortal was good, but this one, I saw this again today. I was like, man, I felt like I was in a fucking Disney cartoon, man. Like, the animations are so good, the mouth, everything lines up, and the story, and it's just really good.
Yeah, I think that the production is probably the highlight of the game. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a fun shooter. It is kind of basic in terms of the shooting sections of the game. It's fun but basic. But Eric, I kind of feel like what this game does best is make you feel like you're in a Star Wars story. And I think a lot of that has to do not only with the graphics and art design, but a lot of it has to do with the music. I mean, this sounds like it came straight from John Williams. The sound and music in this game is just top notch.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the sound is great. The music is great. The sound effects are great. The sounds of the blasters are really good. It sounds exactly like it would in the movies. And it sets the atmosphere. It really does. I mean, between the visuals, what you're seeing, the weapons that you're using, some of the characters that you're seeing, and then you have that classic John Williams music in there. It just sets the whole thing, and that's one of the things that's overlooked, because if you took that out of there, it's a subtle thing, right, to take the music out of there. But if you didn't have it, it wouldn't be the same, right? You would. I mean, it would still probably be a fun game, but you just wouldn't have the immersion. You wouldn't have the Star Wars feel if you didn't have it in there, and it just sounds really good. All the sound effects sound really good.
Yeah, Roots, I mean, as good as the music is, the sound effects just as good, even down to the point of the little things. Like, Star Wars, where it was a movie that came out of the late 70s and early 80s, it's kind of known for its dated futuristic tech. So when you go through here and you're walking by something like big and bulky, that's even just a light, for example, when you get close to it, you can hear the electricity buzzing through it like a light would in the 70s, right? Mm-hmm. And it just, little stuff like that really goes a long way to add to the immersion level of the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And my thing is, as I was playing, I was thinking, looking around and listening to these sounds and thinking, like, this enhanced edition, like with the Tempest audio, and you know what I mean? Like, I get excited. I want to play through this thing again, be in that version, because I think it's going to be so amazing. Just the visuals alone, and they looked phenomenal in this. That was another thing. I was blown away. I mean, of course, the distance is not as good, and as far as like some of them. Now the space things, that the Earth, that everything looked phenomenal. But I just think that on the PSVR 2, it's going to be next level.
That's one thing I wondered about, because you heard these people that got a chance to play the enhanced version this last week talking about how good the game looks graphically. And when I heard them say this, it had been a long time since I played the game. I didn't really remember just how good this game looks already. Like, it already looks really good and is certainly deserving of the Star Wars title that's put on it. So Eric, I think that maybe we should keep our expectations in check with the overall graphical fidelity increase that we're expecting. What I do think we can expect is, some of the skyboxes and distant areas were a little bit low res, and I noticed a lot of pop-in in this game. I think we can we should expect little stuff like that to be really what the enhancement is graphically.
Yeah, I mean, there are small issues with this game, but I hadn't been in a long time, and when I got in again, I was still impressed with how good this looks for a standalone Quest headset. It looks really, really good in here. And again, you did point out there's a few issues here and there, but they're really small. And again, when you get the full package together, you forget about them quickly. I am interested to see what the PlayStation's going to be able to do. Even if it's small, it looks so good already. Small graphical upgrades could mean a lot here. And I think a lot of the upgrades they're going to have, there's going to be some of the haptic upgrades too, right? With the PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah, that's something. That's the one thing that really people pointed out the most about this game: the adaptive triggers and haptic feedback in the controllers. They say that each gun has a very distinctive feel. And when I went back into the game this week with that in mind, I was a little bit disappointed at first because there is only 4 guns in the first part of the campaign. That's where when I got into the last call, like the second half of the game. I got really excited because they really introduced Roots some new weapons in the DLC, some really cool stuff. Rifles, grenade launchers. They literally doubled the size of your arsenal. And now all of a sudden, that update to the haptics and triggers sounds like a lot bigger deal than it would have been initially.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like you said, you nailed it. If there's only 3 or 4 guns, big deal, but if there's 15, 20 guns, that's amazing, especially big artillery, right? Like grenade launchers and that type of stuff. I want to feel what those fuckers feel like with the PSVR 2, because I think it's going to be amazing. I know just in Call of Duty on flat games how amazing they feel. I can only imagine what that's going to do for immersion level. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind too that this is Star Wars. This isn't like a conventional pistol or a conventional shotgun, conventional submachine gun, conventional rifle, conventional grenade launcher. You have all those things, but these are energy weapons, right? They charge. You can get holsters. You can upgrade your holsters to charge the guns while they're on your hip. So you got to imagine with the Tempest 3D audio and the advanced haptics, you're going to feel that crackle, Eric. When you grab your gun, when you pull the trigger, you're not only going to feel that blast, but you're going to feel that energy crackle too.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of things, even not just the weapons, maybe even the multi-tool that you use. I think you're gonna be able to, yeah, exactly. Using the force levitation and the force pull and throw and all that. I think that's going to be amazing. Using using some of the force, like the electricity you can shoot out of your fingers in the first one. I think a lot of that's going to be super cool with the haptics. I mean, I don't know all of it. You might even, if you get hit with one of the lasers, maybe you'll feel it in the face haptics. I don't even know. They definitely could do that too. So there's a ton here. I don't think it's just going to be a graphical upgrade for sure. But I mean, the way they made it look, I mean, some of the screenshots that we saw looked really, really good. So, I mean, I'm going to be probably one of those people that are going to be like super disappointed if it's not a big graphical upgrade, because I am hoping that they do, because that's the whole thing with this game. I love this game, but what do we always say? I wanted this game to be a PC game too, because I wanted to see what it could do with on PC and how good it could look. So it looks great with the standalone headset, but I want to see it with my 3080 Ti. So I want to see what it can do. I want to see what the PlayStation 5 can do. So I hope they give us more than just a marginal graphical upgrade.
Well, that's the cool thing. We've got this enhanced version coming, Roots, and there's still plenty left to do in this game, because unlike Vader Immortal, which is very linear, very objective based, this game is wide open. They give you the whole map to revisit as much as you want. And there is a laundry list of challenges and achievements you can go for, collecting things, fetch quests, killing so many enemies with each weapon. I mean, you could probably spend up to 3 or 4 times as much time as it takes to finish the story, just unlocking everything and finishing all of these challenges, which, on the Quest version isn't something I would probably go back to do. But if you give me a super ultra rich experience in a next gen headset, I could certainly see myself giving all that stuff a little bit more of a run.
Yeah, because you're going to be in that world, right? Like fully in the world, and aren't going to want to leave. That's one of the beauty of these, all this extra stuff that they got there. And I would imagine that, it's set up to where the bartender can always add more. I don't know if they're going to, but, stories and stuff, right? So.
Yeah, I don't know. And the reason, Eric, that I'm not sure is because I did save the final chapter for PSVR 2. I did not finish all of it. I played all the way up and cleared all of the tales. I did all of those. I did all of the story chapters from the main campaign except for the First Order one, which is the very last one. Did you save anything for yourself to enjoy later?
Yep, same thing. I think I had the First Order one to complete. I completed the Jedi missions. I completed all the relic, hidden relic or whatever, find a relic ones for the Doc Ondar, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think it's just the First Order one.
You're gonna have to do it all again because you can't get to the second part anyway, right?
So start from scratch.
I'm gonna love doing it all again.
You're gonna love doing it again because you're gonna want to see. This is the thing, man. Even like because I had to. I went. My save was gone, Wes. I was so happy that I was most halfway through or whatever. No, I had to redo it. But it was cool, like that beginning scene. That I forgot how good the space and the Earth looked, and I'm like, I love the way space looks, and I love Earth. I would love to go to space. So anything space oriented in VR is amazing to me, and so I really want to see that scene in VR on the PlayStation VR 2. So I'm looking forward to the whole experience as well.
Yeah, I was glad to start over. First and foremost, this is a Star Wars story, and who wants to start a Star Wars movie from the middle, right? You want to take it in from beginning to end. So I was kind of glad to get that background, get it all fresh in my mind again. It didn't take me long. Within one sitting, I was caught up to where I was at before, and then I probably played another 3 sittings after that, a couple hours each time, to get to where I'm at now, and I still haven't finished the game. That's what I'm saying, Eric. People talk about this like it's a short thing. When you put the DLC in with it, this is it's longer than a lot of VR games, to be honest.
Yeah. I just, like I said, we just wish it was there from the beginning. But yeah, I mean, this is a long game now, and I think for the price it is now, if you're adding the DLC in, just get it as one package. This is a really good deal. I mean, this for a Star Wars game, this is great. There's a lot here, and I like that there's more in the game, like, than just shooting too. I like that they do these little breaks that we're seeing in the video here, where they do these little levitation things with using the Force to levitate objects, and they have it's not super hard puzzles, but they do have some puzzling in there to kind of break things up a little bit. There's stuff to do in the cantina. So I do like that they give you stuff, extra to do here, and it just adds more to the game. The collectibles is great, man. Go find the droid, all these little droids all around. Go find all these
stuff everywhere, right?
I found stuff like I thought I was actually on a right path to go somewhere, and I ran into a dead end, and I'm like, what the hell is this, a dead end? I just started looking around. I found like 4 different things that I needed to collect in that area. There was some flowers, there was a droid, and there was one of those little flying things I had to let out of a cage. So I'm like, holy crap.
Sporks. Don't forget the sporks.
Yeah. So just on one little path, I found like 3 different things to collect. And, there's a ton to do here. And I thought some of the extra stuff that you can do, like you said, killing so many enemies with one weapon, I thought that was a little tedious, but then I looked back and I found myself going back to see how far I was on certain things, because I was like, maybe I can go complete it real quick. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I usually don't go for those things, but I found myself kept looking to see which ones I was closest to.
What'd you think about the tale that had you play the role of assassin droid, a bounty hunter? I thought that was really cool twist.
I loved it. I thought it was so cool. Took a minute to get used to the shooting, though. Did it for you guys?
Not really. I mean, it was. It reminded me of Res. It plays like Res Infinite, where you just kind of tag your enemies, and it takes care of the rest.
I didn't even really think of that game but yeah, now that you say that, it's a lot like that. But yeah, it just took me a little bit just to get, because I didn't do that one right away. I did some of the other ones first, and then I got into that one a little bit later. So I was used to the regular shooting, and then all of a sudden I had to do that one. So, but I thought it was a cool mix, man. I wanted more of those. I hope they bring that back if they're gonna do more.
Roots, how many times did you play the Dart game?
Dart game? I don't know that I got to the Dart game. I didn't get as far into the second one as you guys did.
No, it's in the cantina, bro. It's right there.
Oh, the Dart game. The Dart game.
Yeah,
actually, I didn't play it this time. I spent a lot of time playing the darts last time, and that's what's kind of cool is like those little tiny mini game type of things that you could just sit there and you could play that for. I thought one of the coolest things is running right out to the, and this is just a little bit of I guess little background stuff, seeing the Millennium Falcon sitting right out there, and then at one point doesn't it take off, and I just thought that was kind of cool as well. But yeah, I looked at the Dart game this time and ran right by it.
Yeah, Eric, I probably spent, if you add it all up, I probably played darts for over an hour in here.
I didn't do it. I was like Roots. I didn't do the darts again for the DLC. I did it a lot in the first game, though. I did it a lot in the first game because you could gamble on it, which I like. So yeah, I mean, I did it quite a bit.
Well, there's two challenges that are tied to that, and I didn't get either one of them. Like, it seems kind of ridiculous, some of the scores that they want you to get. Like, my top score on it, my top score on it was like 600 and something, and I think they even get the first achievement, you got to get 1100. And what that requires is for you to string bullseyes together. You get a new set of darts every time you hit a bullseye. So every 3 shots you have to hit a bullseye, and I was able to do that. At most 3 or 4 times in a row. You would have to get it 8 or 9 times to get up to where they want you to be at, and I never managed to do that. Although I would say, I never played it more than 4 or 5 times at a time because it costs money to play, and I didn't want to just spend all my money before I unlocked all of the upgrades and stuff. So I'd play it a few times. I'd go do a mission. I'd play it a few times. I'd go do a mission. Play a few times. Go do a mission. It just seems extremely difficult to be that consistent at it. But I guess I guess it's possible, or else it wouldn't be there, right?
Yeah, you know what's funny? I can hear it in your voice. Wes is going back into this fucking Dart game. He's gonna do this. It's on his list now. You could do it probably.
You know what else bothered me? One of the challenges was to play the song. So you bring this artifact back to dock, and it's a music box. It plays a little song. And one of the achievements is to go over to the like xylophone instrument thing that they put in there and play the song. So like I took it over there. I learned the first bar, played it. Learned the second bar, played it. Strung them both together, and nothing happened. And I was like, "What the hell?" So I grabbed the music box. I started listening. I only played like half of the thing. Like, it's Jesus. A long song. They want you to play the whole fucking thing. And I was like, God, man, that's a lot to learn, especially since they don't tell you how to play it. You have to do it by ear. Like, you have to figure it out. It's not easy.
That's cool though. Those are things that you could easily miss, right? They're just extra stuff. And this game's a lot deeper than it seems at first, right? Even just all the upgrades and stuff, and like you were saying, the holsters to charge your guns. I mean, who would have? It's just very, very unique.
The new jetpack. The new jetpack, yeah.
The jetpack kind of sucks at first, but when you upgrade it and get like all the upgrades for it, it actually turns out to be really cool. And that's something I wish they would have leaned more into. Is like, a lot of this game is fetch quests, finding things, collectibles and stuff like that. And the maps are cool and very explorable. I feel like that jetpack should have unlocked more areas than it did. Like, it does unlock some areas that you couldn't get to otherwise, but I feel like after I really got it fully upgraded to where I could move around with it and I could move twice as high, I really wish there were more cliffs that I could make my way up onto than there actually turned out to be.
Yeah. It's almost like it was an afterthought. like, or not afterthought, but it came late, right? I didn't really think you should have had that jetpack early, the really good one. Zip around everywhere.
I get it. I mean, there's got to be some progression. There's got to be some incentive to work toward. So I get why they did it the way they did. I just, like you said, I feel like that they kind of decided to do that after they had built the maps out, instead of beforehand.
Yeah. They got killed. They got killed. If you remember, they got killed on the jetpack. Everybody hated it. Everybody was all pissed off, and I think they changed it in the DLC just because of that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, it was a change for the better for sure, because you can really move around well with that thing, and for whatever it lacks in terms of being able to unlock areas of the map, it became a very useful tool in battle. Like, it's a lot easier to dodge enemy shots when you can move on all three axes.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did you guys think of the Jedi missions, or the Jedi mission with a couple of different things to do in there?
I thought they were pretty cool. I liked the first one probably better than the second one that just basically had you going on to train your Padawan through some mini games, which I mean was cool in and of itself. I think they did that to give it a little replayability, much like the old lightsaber dojo. But as far as like the Jedi Tales, I thought the first one where you're in the temple with Yoda was probably the coolest one, although I would have liked for it to be a little longer.
Yeah, it seemed like that was really short, right? That was what I was telling Mash. It seemed like you got in there and you did your thing, but it was really cool though. Like, I felt like I really did help Yoda succeed, even though I was told not to come in, and I didn't listen.
Yeah, I thought it was like just like we talked about with game. The both parts together, I think, made a cool thing, but separately they were like, okay. I was like, eh. You know what I mean? The first one was, I thought, you're right, the first one was definitely better. If you had put these together and made one whole Jedi experience, because I thought the story is fairly good here. You're talking about a Jedi who had, dark side issues and things like that, and especially in the first one, and so I thought the story was cool. I just wish it would have been longer, like I said, but that's kind of like the whole story of this game.
It's nice that they were able to work in some force magic and lightsaber battles, because the main story of the game, you're just a normal dude with a blaster. You're not a Jedi. So the fact that they found a way to put a lightsaber in your hand and let you use the force was really cool, and it's something that's really going to pay dividends when you get the next-gen controllers in your hands.
Yeah, I can't wait to feel the lightsaber humming in your hands, right? It's going to be cool.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
You know who else likes to feel the lightsaber humming in their hands?
My mom!
Oh, she loves it a lot.
Anyway, yeah, I think that's about the extent of what we can say on that. Do you guys have any specific criticism of the game? I mean, it is a bit linear, but we have to keep in mind this is a game developed for standalone hardware, and I think they did a really good job this time around of completely smashing all of our criticism that we had of Vader Immortal. Everything that we criticized about that game, they addressed in this one, and I feel like this was a much better effort from them, and it is a legit full-fledged Star Wars story that is deserving of its title.
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple small ones. I don't like the loading scenes. I hate the travel scenes. The travel scenes are just all loading scenes, which kind of suck. We killed Ruins Magus for doing something like that, and I wish they had done a better job than that. And like you said, there's a few graphical issues here, but I think overall this is a great experience, and probably definitely better than Vader Immortal for me. And if you're looking for the great Star Wars experience, this is pretty good for me. I would put Vader Immortal as third, and I would put Star Wars Pinball as second, and this is first.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let me ask you, Eric, this or the I'm forgetting what the name of the title is now. The flying game from EA.
Rogue Squadron?
No. Shit, I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of the
Oh,
Star Wars Squadrons.
Squadrons. That's what I meant Squadrons. Yeah. No, Squadrons is amazing. No, that's a crazy good AAA game. Yeah. That Squadrons is amazing.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one. Sorry. That's first. This is second. Pinball's third and Invader's fourth.
Roots, I would say that while this might not be the complete Star Wars adventure game that we've always dreamed of in VR, I think that this is a great first step toward that. I don't feel like they're far off from that with this.
No, they're so close. And I think with more budget, more funding, more belief that more people would play it, I think this game is probably, twice or three times the game. I mean, I was telling Mash before this, the only thing that I didn't care for, I felt like the actual gameplay in some respects got boring after a while because it was very samey as far as you're just going from one place to the next, shooting people, and so it outside, if this was just some random universe, it'd be kind of boring. It's in the Star Wars universe with a Star Wars AAA production and graphics and sounds and in this world that I know, and so it's amazing. I just wish the gameplay was a little bit more fun for me, at least throughout the whole thing. It's just samey to some extent, but other than that, I was really good.
I certainly agree with that with regards to the shooting. If this game was just a shooter, I feel like you're right. It would have gotten boring pretty quickly. But the fact that there's so much other stuff going on with the exploration and progression, and again the storytelling and the production of it all really saves it and makes it worth going on.
Yep, absolutely.
Anyway, from one great first step in the right direction to another great first step in the right direction, NFL Pro Era launched this past week. And while this isn't really the first NFL licensed product in VR, I feel like this is the first NFL title that we can legit call an NFL football game in VR. And that's a big thing. Roots, we've been calling for an NFL game in VR as long as we've been doing this show. And it's really kind of strange that here we are, as we're stepping into the next generation of VR, we're finally getting the first real attempt at it.
Man, that's crazy. It's crazy though, but you're right, man. It's like I can't tell you the feeling that I had the first time that I heard. I think it was after a touchdown, and the music. This is what got me, which was crazy. Was like the music that you hear kind of when a touchdown, like the way that they really made you feel like you scored a touchdown, right? Almost to the point like Radio Runt was saying, you want to scream and be like, yeah, touchdown, I was really impressed.
Eric, I feel like a lot of what this game has to offer is that stadium experience. You get to step in to decent representations of all of the NFL stadiums in the skin of your favorite NFL players, and you get to play football on the field in the first person perspective. That's a first for VR, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, this was when you step out onto the football field, it has that feel. Do you remember early on? You remember playing Creed? And you get into the boxing ring for the first time and you look in, you're like, holy crap, it really feels like I'm in a boxing ring with a crowd around me. And you have that feeling, and that gives you that feeling when you do this. You feel like you're on a football field. You feel like you're in a stadium. You get that feeling of what it would feel like to be standing on the field looking around at a stadium packed full of people. Now, they might be cardboard cutout looking people, but it still sounds and looks really, really cool. And it gives you that holy shit moment where you're just kind of staring around. I did that for the first few times, just turning in my play space, doing a 360 around the stadium. And it with the noise and crowd effect, plus with the way everything looks and being in VR, really gives you the feel like you're there, right?
Yeah. And Roots, for what it's worth, this is a quarterback simulator. The 100% of the game is you in there as the quarterback. You get the call from the coach You step in there, you read the defense, you throw the ball. The throwing mechanics felt pretty good, right? It felt pretty natural.
It did. It felt so good. And since I was the quarterback, that I was stingy. And every time it tried to make me hand it off to the running back, I was like, fuck this, man. I'm calling audible. I'm passing this shit. I want to hand off to somebody. I want to throw this shit. And it did. I was very surprised at how accurate it was, and how much control you had to where you could put it. Like, you know what I mean? You got all your wide receivers doing their routes, right? And so you know where they're going to go. And I had so many times as I'm throwing it, and I couldn't believe, now a couple times I didn't, and I almost got picked off. But it would go right where I wanted it to go, right? And that's such a good feeling, especially when they catch it. Now, this is one thing that I did have a problem with and I don't know if you guys ran into this problem with your wide receivers, but I watched the other team's wide receivers catch shit and run it in all the time. My guys, every time, they don't know how to fucking run. I was the Dolphins, though, so I don't know.
Well, there's a few things at play here. First of all, it makes sense that it feels like you're really accurate with your passes, because by default, there's a pass assist function that is on. So they're helping you out a little bit there.
Damn it, that was one of the things blew my mind. I thought it was good.
It's one of the things that bothered me was that pass assist, because the game takes some liberty when that's turned on, and it tries to determine which receiver you're throwing to, and it kind of guides the ball to where it thinks you're throwing when that's turned on. Which is okay in some situations, but in certain plays, when you have a bunch of different receivers on the same side of the field, it happened a handful of times where I would be throwing to one guy and it would assume I was throwing to another, and it would just take the ball in that direction, even though I wasn't intending to throw it there. But with that said, I turned the pass assist off, and while that did lead to a few more incomplete passes, it did also allow a lot more control. So when I did hit the receiver in the right spot, it felt a lot better, a lot more rewarding, because I know I did that and not the game.
Listen to Wes, man.
This man legitimately thinks that he is better than us.
He just shit all over I really did feel like I was hitting that. I'm going to turn that stuff off, because that is kind of disturbing, Wes. I really want to throw it myself. I don't need a pass assist. Maybe I do. But I want to find out if I do.
Well, here's the thing, and this is probably one of my bigger criticisms of the game, of which there are a few, and we'll get to that. The game does feel controlled to some extent by the computer. Like, for example, I never lost the coin toss. Like, every time I played this game, I went first because I won every coin toss. I feel like when I started to get out ahead of the competition, my guys would start fumbling. And to your what you're saying, Roots, when they're down, they're catching everything and they're going downfield with it fast. I feel like the game tries to keep it competitive, and when there's a difficulty setting in the settings, and I feel like that's really what it's doing. It isn't making the AI play better. It's just making the luck, the ball bounce their way more when you set the difficulty up. So really that was one of my earliest and biggest criticisms of the game, Eric, is that it doesn't really feel like a fair game. It feels like an arcade experience that's being controlled by a game master.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely limited in what you can do. And with that mechanic, because that's pretty much the only mechanic, it really shouldn't be. You should have complete control over what you're doing. I mean, you should have control over how you want to play it, I should say. So there should be like a slider or something to give you control over how much you want to be able to control it, or how much assist you get. Because there are going to be some people that don't want to be able to do it on their own. They want to just be able to feel like they're the best quarterback in the world. But there are going to be people that want to do touch passes, that want to throw it exactly where they want it to be. They want to make sure that when they throw it in a certain spot, that's where the ball is going to go, not 4 feet to the left, because that's where it thinks you were trying to intend to throw the ball. So
it comes off as to me, it came off as a timing game. Like, it wasn't really a throwing accuracy game. As long as you pick the correct receiver and you have the route timing down, your receiver will go up and get the ball, so long as you're not blowing out your opponent. If you're blowing out your opponent, then your receiver will run the wrong route or something like that. But as long as the game is close and you've got the timing right, your guys are going to catch the ball almost every time, right?
Yeah. I did notice that sometimes the other defenders would jump up and smack it and stuff. I really think that they need to, if they can, and I don't know what it would take, but I want AI that's intelligent. I want to scale up the difficulty, not the luck. If that is the case, it would be a lot better to feel like I'm actually getting better instead of, because how many seasons can I play under that other system,
Right.
So.
Ray Del Toro in the chat says it's an immersive quarterback game, and I'd say that's a very effective description of this experience. It's an immersive quarterback game. It's all about the experience. The game is not very nuanced. This is an arcade game. This is not Madden. If you're going through your YouTube feed and someone is telling you that this is Madden for VR, they're lying to you. That is clickbait. This is not Madden. There is a lot that this game does not do. Let's just start with the basics, Eric. Wouldn't it be great if you could call your own plays? And don't get me wrong, you can call an audible. So the coach calls a play. They give you 2 other plays you can switch off to if you want. But you don't have any deep playbook or anything that you get to kind of dictate what you want to do with the game. You're going to be in shotgun 90% of the time, and you're going to be throwing 95% of the time, and you're going to pretty much run the play that the coach tells you to run, right?
Yeah, I mean, you do not feel like you're in control of this game at all when you're playing. You can call an audible, but literally when you call the audible, they take all the time off the time clock. So if you started with 35 seconds on your time clock, that you have to get that play called off, and as soon as you call the audible, you're down to 6 seconds. You have 6 seconds to get the play off. So you're just scrambling to figure out where your receivers are, where you want that play to go, and then you have to hike the ball right away, or you're going to get delay of game penalty. So yeah, it kind of sucks. I mean, if they could do that, if they can give you the audible, why not do the same mechanic and just give you 4 or 5 plays on your sleeve? I'm not saying you're going to get Madden's playbook here, because that's unrealistic. But give me 6 different plays, or give me 6 running back plays and give me 6 pass plays, or give me 3 long pass plays and 3 short pass plays and 3 running plays, and let me decide. That's not, you could put that on the wrist and have it not be clumsy or cumbersome.
Give me 4 formations and 4 to 6 plays in each formation.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Let me get out of the game shotgun if I want. If I want to be under center, let me be under center. If I want to be in a shotgun, let me be in a shotgun.
You know what I want? The biggest thing that I wanted to do, honestly, was I wanted to, when my team received the punt, I wanted to have my guy catch the ball and then be the runner, stiff arming people.
That would be cool.
That would be really cool, right? Or even just the running back. That was my thing. That's so boring to run in this game. I just got to grab the ball and hand it to the guy. I mean, I get it. That's, as a quarterback, that's what he does, right? But I want to be in the running back position as well, and I don't know that it would be that hard to add that to it eventually, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of okay with just being the quarterback, but I would like for the game to be a bit more realistic. Like, you mentioned you can get a delay of game penalty, which I assume I never got one because I always got the ball off in time. But that's the only penalty I think the game will do. Like, There is no offsides. There is no false start. There is no pass interference. There's no roughing the passer or hitting or personal fouls. There's none of that. Like I'd like to be able in a 4th and 1 to try a hard call to see if I can draw the enemy offsides and get a free first down. There's none of that sort of thing in this game. In fact, Eric, I don't think there's any sacks. Like I've never felt any pressure from the rush. Like nobody ever got in my face one time.
I was
yeah, I did too. I tried because the only reason I did though is it almost happened to me on purpose. I was just trying to see how if you could scramble or if you could roll out of the pocket, and I would just held the ball a little bit too long, and then it never happened again. So it almost made myself do it because I was just trying to mess with stuff to see how much mobility you had in the pocket.
Yeah, I never tried to do anything like that. And for what it's worth, before I got into the season, I spent a lot of time in the mini camp drills. I did them all until I got 3 stars on every drill with every team. Like I spent a lot of time running the mini camp drills. So by the time I actually played the game, I knew how to roll out of the pocket. I knew how to run and throw and all that stuff. Which, by the way, those are fun. Did you guys play any of the mini camp stuff?
Oh, I did. I went straight into the seasons. I started winning right off the bat too, man. But I also had assist on apparently. So
yeah, well, I mean that's defaulted, and it's something too that they won't let you turn off in the game. Like the only way you can turn off pass assist is like from the locker room.
Really? So, that's weird. It should not be default. But I guess they don't want people going in there and sucking, and they're like, man, this game sucks. So
it's too hard. Forget it.
It's too hard. Yeah.
Anyway, it's interesting, Roots. A lot of people want to compare this game to 2MD because they're both kind of these quarterback sim situations. And most people that I've seen this week are saying that this is better than 2MD. I feel like 2MD does a little more than this game in terms of gameplay. But what you're paying for here is that NFL experience. And that's a big thing. That's a big deal, and they do a really good job of that in this game. It's a fun game to play. I would say but it's limited. And you would have to be an NFL fan to really enjoy it, which I happen to be. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I never did for 2MD. I've never went in to play that game and felt like I was in a stadium really playing football like I did this. I think, like you said, there's something to be said about that NFL name. All these teams, all these players, all of this stuff, the way it sounds, the music, just everything about it adds to that immersion. And a lot of people forget with 2MD as they're saying, man, this game isn't as good as 2MD. Well, 2MD wasn't as good as 2MD on day 1 or 2 or year 1 or 2. They worked on that for a long time. It's really good after that much time. So I'm hoping that they keep working on this thing and maybe fix a few things or add a few things. I don't know that they will. But one of the things I was mentioning to you and MASH that people need to realize that this is the first iteration. We didn't get Madden right off the bat. We had to go through Blitz and all sorts of different types of versions to get to Madden. It probably won't take that many to get to that level here, but I think we're a couple years off at least until we get a game on that level for football.
That's my biggest problem with this game, and we talked about it earlier. I mean, again, I'll say earlier, I'll say now what I said earlier. I recommend that everybody buy this game. It's a good game. I would play this game over 2MD football. But why do we have to wait this long? Like, why do we have to be in the point right now where we're like, okay, this is great, but it's not that great, and in 3 years it might be great. Why didn't we get this game 3 years ago? Because I don't see any reason why this game couldn't have been put on. It could have been a launch game for the Quest 2. Why are we 2 years or 3 years into the cycle of a standalone headset when we finally get a game that has an NFL license and it doesn't even have fucking multiplayer? Like, how are you making this game and you don't put multiplayer in it? This is like the biggest part of football. You want to be able to play against somebody else. And if you're going to go out there and you're going to be anybody and you're going to call this game a Madden clone, or this is Madden in VR, and you can't even play multiplayer, you can't say this Madden in VR. You can't even play multiplayer. I mean, there's no way this is Madden in VR. Again, I don't want to kill this game because I'm telling everybody they should buy it, but and I'm not even killing the developer. It doesn't even have anything to do with the developer. It has to do with the fact that we should have had this game a long time ago, and we should have been refining it for the last 2 years instead of now we get it, and then now we have to refine it. Now we have to wait for multiplayer because they don't have it ready yet. That we have to wait for this, or we have to wait for that, or the third iteration of this game is going to be fantastic because then we'll have everything we need. We should have had this a long time ago, and this is just laziness on the part, probably most likely the part of Oculus and Meta, because if they put some money behind this and they went to the NFL a long time ago, and they could have put a AAA developer behind this thing, and they probably would have had this game right. If we had this iteration we got today or last week, would have been way better than this is right now.
I want to call plays. I want defense that's smart. I want to have to run the ball regularly so that I draw the defense in, and then that's what opens up deep throws. You know, you don't have anything like that here. You feel like a quarterback god when you play this game. You can throw it deep every time if you want to, and you're going to catch most of them, and you don't ever have to run the ball if you don't want to. I want penalties. I want to be able to use strategy. So this game really effectively nails the kind of 2-minute drill style quarterbacking that a lot of people love, and it really works very well in VR. This game isn't structured to allow someone who really knows football to come in and exercise strategy and things like that over the course of a 60-minute game. That's not what this is. And, you know, I don't want to kill it too much for not being a sim because it's not. It's an arcade game, and it's a fun one. But what Root said is true. Like, 2MD, while it's deeper today, it wasn't. This game is better today than 2MD was when it launched. But 2MD's been around for 4 years now and has a lot of stuff added into it. I think we started this conversation off with really what the bottom line is. This is a good first step toward the NFL game that we all want. This isn't yet the NFL game that we all want.
No, it needs a better AI for sure. As far as, like you said, the defense, I would even settle, like you said, where you could call the plays from and watch the defense. It's kind of cool to watch what's going on, but not if the other team is just going to throw a long bomb every time and run it in. I was like, well, fuck, what did my defense do? I feel like I'm on the one of those teams where they have no defense and the offense, I'm the only one doing anything. So it's just crazy.
It almost feels like this is a tech demo. Like if this came out when the Quest 2 launched as like a tech demo of, hey, you know, this is possibly, you know, this is something that we're going to try and, you know, have ready, or this is going to do, we'd be like, wow, this is going to be amazing. I can't wait till the whole game comes out. But when you get this like 2 or 3 years or 4 years into a standalone headset cycle, you're like, really? I mean, this is the best they could come up with after this amount of time?
Yeah, it's not even about that though, Eric. Unfortunately, it's about it just now, or maybe within the last year, getting to the point where the NFL was willing to shell out the money to do it, right? Or at least entertain doing a game, right? So, or at least investing in it. It had to have the player base, I guess, is what I'm saying, to for them to feel like they wanted to make the game. So we were kind of in a catch-22. We wanted to have it earlier, but we couldn't because they wouldn't invest. And so now we're finally there, and this game is good, but it's not exactly. We're at a different level. We're expecting a different level. So I don't know.
I mean, the license is great, but I mean, if they had a really good game without the license, I mean, you know, a fully fleshed out, you know, Madden style game without the license, I would live with that. I mean, the license doesn't mean shit to me. I could care less about the.
It's like the NCAA games were. You know, you had the Madden, which was fully licensed out, but you had the NCAA games, which couldn't have the actual players in it because of the way college football is structured. It's against the rules. So it was kind of like a generic Madden, right? That's what this could have been. and it would have been fine. But you would have been missing out on what this game really does give you, and that's that NFL stadium experience. If I had my druthers, obviously I would prefer a game that is solely my skill versus the AI skill. You know, my skill as not only a thrower, but as a play caller, as a football strategist. And it just isn't on that level in terms of depth to the gameplay. This is a pure arcade experience that lets you feel like you're a superhero NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I can't get? Why can't you be the runner? Like when you hand the ball off to the runner, why can't you can run as the quarterback? So why can't the view switch when you hand it off? You have a split second where it maybe black screens or whatever. You have a transition to where all of a sudden now you're the running back and now you're running. Same thing with the receiver. You throw the ball, the receiver catches the ball, and all of a sudden now you're the receiver, and then you get a chance to run. I'm not saying I don't like the whole thing where you have to run your own. Let me thumbstick it. You can thumbstick, or you can run where you move the controllers to run. But give me that would have been so much better if you can give me make me a running back, or let me be the running back, or let me be the receiver, or switch it out a little bit. That's way better. Or like we said earlier, let me call the defense. Don't let me just sit there on the sideline like a dumb shit holding a clipboard for 15 minutes, or I have to go sim through the whole thing so I can just get back on the field. Let me call a defensive play. I'm watching it anyway. Let me call a defensive play.
Yeah, that would be cool because I did enjoy that aspect of it, of being on the sideline, watching the defense play. It would be cool if you were out there playing, calling plays like the coach.
Yeah, that would be cool.
We're kind of shitting on this game, which which we talked about earlier. We still recommend this game, right?
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of it. It's just, as someone who's an NFL fan and a VR enthusiast, I think it's just that I want more. I want more from my NFL game. But this is the best we've got so far, and it's certainly worth your time. Is it worth the $30 price tag, Eric? That's a good question.
I mean, it's borderline, okay? I think because of the license, I think it warrants the 30. And because of the NFL license and the NFL teams, now whether they mean shit to me or not, or the players mean shit to me, I could really care less about any of these NFL players, to be honest with you. But whether it means anything to me or not, it's not the big deal. If it means something to you, if you want to play as your team, you can't play as a certain player, but you can play as your team and see your jerseys or whatever. That's a cool thing, and people want that. And guess what? They have to pay for that license. So that means the game goes up in price. So I think it's worth it for the $30 to get the experience, get the NFL teams. It's a fun game. It's just not exactly what we'd want. That's the biggest disappointment. It is good, and it does give you the feeling that you're on a football field, and you just want more. But I think from what is here is good, and that's what Ray Delator says. I think Eric doesn't like this game, and I talked about this earlier with Westerners before that. I'm like I'm two minds with this game because I want to kill it, but then I want to say that everybody should go buy it because I think it's good enough to buy. So it's kind of a weird thing for me.
Yeah, it is weird. For all of its downsides, I was smiling ear to ear because I was able to put on the 49ers uniform, go out against the Seahawks, and kick their ass.
Yeah.
I love that. That was awesome. And that alone is worth $30 to me. Roots, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth $30 because, I mean, and let's be honest, the NFL name was probably half of that. And that means the game is the game worth $15. The gameplay alone is absolutely worth $15 plus obviously what you have to pay for the NFL. Now the question is, do you think any of these things we've talked about will change? I don't know that I haven't heard if they're working on anything or if they're planning. I know they're planning on adding multiplayer, right?
I did hear multiplayer.
That was my biggest gripe. That was one of the things I wanted to, and I guess I did have a mini rant when it was just me and Eric waiting. Is like, why is everything fucking put off in the future for everything? It's like, well, we've got this little bit of it done. We're going to bring you multiplayer. We're going to bring you a story. We're going to bring you this. Why can't we just get something like Elden Ring where it's fucking done. Here you go. Well, I guess it's millions of dollars. That's the difference. And this is a independent studio, so I'm sure time constraints. But I just at some point it's one of the biggest things that you could think of to not have, just like Alvo not having crossplay, just like all of these big decisions that you'd think that is the one of the biggest things you would multiplayer, and it's not there. It's just weird to me.
Yeah, I think having that multiplayer would immediately take care of my biggest gripe with the game, which was the overlord of the game controlling the game. If it's you versus your friend, then it's skill versus skill. Even if the defense AI is kind of stupid and nerfed, you both have to deal with that, right? So it's not going to artificially keep the game close if it's you versus your friend. I wouldn't think.
That would be fun. I think that would be a lot of fun too, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you could defend. If you could actually defend against your friend, that'd be even better.
You can go in the mini games, and you can have a catch with somebody in multiplayer. There is some type of multiplayer.
I don't want to have a catch with my friend in real life, let alone.
I just had to bring it up because you can do it, and I do want to say one thing. My nephew, he's 20 years old. I got him a Quest 2 years ago, Christmas. And he's been in and out of it with different games. He was an Onward fan for a while. But he actually called me today just to say, and he had no idea that we were even reviewing this tonight, but he just wanted to say, holy shit, did you try NFL Pro Era yet? And I'm like, I'm playing it today. I'm playing it right now. For review tonight. And he's like, this is my favorite game on the Quest 2 so far. He's nice. Like this. He's like this. He's like, because if you're a huge football fan, like, this kid's a huge football fan, played it all through high school, he's probably in 4 fantasy football leagues. He lives and breathes football all day long. Huge Dallas Cowboys fan. And you want to be in VR, this is your game, you know what I mean? And there's enough here for him to where he was like, this is my favorite game I think I've ever played. So, for people like that, I mean, I think there's something here for it.
Yeah, this could sell headsets for these people who only play sports games.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, people who are into the super analytical side of Madden are going to find it lacking in a bunch of ways. But those sports fanatics out there who literally just play games so that they can play, sports games all day, there's a portion of those that if they're able to demo this are going to go buy a headset.
Yeah. How much do you think if they had multiplayer out of the get-go, that would have
it'd have been a big deal.
It would have been enough here because we know okay, it's a little shallow, the gameplay. If the gameplay is exactly the way it is, but multiplayer's in there, you think we're like, we don't care, this is amazing. You know what I mean? Even just the timing plays that it is, or whatever it is. It's still I'm still playing against my buddy, right? Yeah, I'm still like trash talking against a buddy or whatever.
Yeah, the competition, I mean, it takes what I felt versus the Seahawks and makes every game that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how one little thing could have changed this whole game. If they had I don't know how hard it was going to be to do multiplayer, how long it was going to take them, but shit, I mean, if you delayed this for 3 months, you know what I mean, and released the Q1, 2023 with multiplayer, maybe that would have been the better move.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always better to wait for a game than wait for a patch, right?
Right.
Hell yeah.
Did you guys have any bugs?
No, this is one of the things, and I was saying to you guys, and it's not a bug, but it's just the limitations of the Quest 2. But like, I'm watching the ball when it gets punted, and it's like flopping around or whatever. It's and the shimmering of the thing. This is the thing. I played this thing. I want to play it on. I hope it comes to PC because I mean, not that it's like the sharpest thing, but I feel like there's something you could get from a PC version as well. But
did you look at the people in the crowd?
So bad.
I didn't look at the people in the crowd, but I did notice that a little bit of as I was looking at some of the players as I was moving around, were kind of having like double image, kind of like a reprojection a little bit.
Right.
So that's something that they could maybe iron out, or I don't know how, but I didn't look at the people. How bad are they?
staying true to the Oculus platform, they don't have legs. They're all they're all torsos floating in the chair.
It's so bad.
That's bad.
Funny.
Yeah.
Do you have any bugs?
I had one bug. Yeah, I had one bug. I couldn't hike the ball twice. It just wouldn't let me do it, and then the timer ran out. So
I had one very significant bug, where the defensive players on either team completely lost their collision ability.
Oh, really?
So, like they would kick off. So this is how it happened. Like I scored a touchdown, and I kicked off to the other team, and they ran it all the way back for a touchdown. And I said, "Fuck this guy! Here goes the game controller again, making sure that I don't run away with it." So then they kick off to me, and the same thing happens. Run it back all the way downfield. And I'm like, okay, now that's weird. I've never seen this happen in real life football. This is ridiculous. And then kicked it off to them again. And then I noticed, I start paying a little closer attention. The runner is running through the defensive players. Like they're not touching him. I mean, they are touching him, but he's just running through them like they're ghosts. And after about 5 touchdowns, I stopped the game, went back to the locker room, reloaded into the game again, and it was still doing it.
Oh, no way.
I had to completely kill the game, go back out to Oculus Home, and come back in, but to fix it, whatever it was that was wrong with it.
Ghost game. There's a game of ghosts.
Major bug.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when you
go to exit to the lobby, the Oculus menu lobby, that's not good.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, a super fun quarterback experience. This isn't something where you're going to be reading defensive formations, calling plays to suit the situation. It's not a game where you're going to have to throw to run and run to throw. It's not a game where you're going to be able to draw people off sides or have pass interference calls. It's an arcade quarterback sim that's very fun, that allows you to be your favorite player on your favorite team and beat your biggest rivals. And if you're a fan of football and you're a fan of the NFL, it's definitely worth your time, and it's a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, and it's a good first step. You know, we might be a year or 2 years away, or 6 months, who knows? But eventually, we're gonna have our Madden game. And somebody mentioned it in the chat, like this. I mean, think about hockey. Like, I mean, there's all sorts of sports, but hockey, I think, would be a lot easier to do, and like a really good version of it as well. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
There's a couple good App Lab hockey games. Nothing great, but I mean, there's a couple decent ones.
If you do a hockey game, though, I feel like it's got to be a sim. Like an arcade hockey game, I don't know about it, man, but you've got to. There's so many rules, and hockey's so technical. I feel like it would suck if they didn't accurately reproduce that.
Yeah,
I want Blades of Steel. Remember Blades of Steel?
Yeah,
I love Blades of Steel.
The best part was when you'd get into a fight, right? I mean, it's so cool.
Yeah. Imagine that in VR.
That would be cool.
Hockey fights.
Hockey and thrill of the fight all mixed in one.
Well, cool. Veraza says 2MD more technical, but this has merit and feels really good. I think that's a good way to sum it up. Like if you're somebody who's a big 2MD fan, you're going to find the gameplay a little bit shallow here, because 2MD has had a few updates now, and they let you do a little more.
Yeah. Somebody, Wolvie was saying you could actually draw your own plays, let alone pick them. You know, like you can actually make your own. So
bring the mechanics of 2MD and put it in this game, and you got probably a way better game.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's going to wrap our episode for the night. I want to thank everyone who showed up in the chat. I love you all, and I want to thank everyone who's watching this tomorrow. We love you just as much, or almost as much. Yeah. I'm just kidding. We love you just as much. If you want to support our channel and you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell so that you can be notified when we go live, which is between all these channels is almost every day these days. What do you got going on QTC tomorrow, Eric?
We have an interview with the couple of developers from the Ultimex team, which is going to be cool. It's pre-recorded interview, but it's going to be like 20, 25 minutes, and it's really, really good, man. We did it the other day. And
super cool.
Really good. And we'll have lots of Pico stuff to talk about tomorrow.
So Wednesday, Strangers in the Night. Thursday, Q2C. Friday, Roots streams on Twitch. Saturday, Q2C streams on multiple platforms. Sunday, Virtual Strangers. Monday, the VR Crewcast. Tuesday, that's
crazy.
Hey, new permanent member to the Crewcast.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Happy birthday, Roots.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Roots is Roots has decided to join the Crewcast as a permanent weekly member. So whether or not Beardo Benjo shows up doesn't matter anymore. We're going to get Roots on there every week for the remainder of the season.
That's cool. What's cool is I actually get to meet Beardo. Because I was thinking, man, I'm never going to get to meet this guy because he's always on and then I'm on. And we're never in the same room at the same time.
Oh my God. So, maybe you're not the same person?
I know. That's the thing. If I could trim my beard and I had an accent and I had a really successful YouTube channel, then I could be like him.
It was fun. We had a good episode this week. I felt like good topics, good conversation. Although the start was a little weird.
When he just goes live, he just goes live, doesn't tell anybody. We're like, "Hello, everybody," and we're like, "What? Is he going live?"
Yeah, we're literally just sitting there shooting the shit. Everybody off in their own world doing their own thing, and then GT's like, "Yeah, and we're live." What the fuck? Really?
That's crazy. I gotta make sure I don't Colorado time at any time near that time. Then
yeah, you better watch your ass, dude. It goes it goes live at the top of the hour on the minute, dude.
Boom, you're on.
Be ready.
It was good, though. It was a good episode, and I think they're going to continue to get better. It'll be good now.
Anyway, with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Eric and Roots, I'm Wes. We will see you, as I said, very soon. Tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Take it easy.
See you later.